paper between each of the sheets that you have. At the end, what are you going to have? Is it going to be the same thickness or not? It's going to be thicker. So that's the reason why bodybuilding does require quite a bit of energy. And to sustain that muscle, that is actually linked also with the diet that you're taking. So the intake, the caloric intake has to really increase to maintain it. If you don't maintain it, you're not going to be able to sustain that. And bodybuilding is pretty expensive. Okay, so you're looking at about an average per month, you're looking at 20,000 to 30,000. All right, and that's because of the number of meals. And that includes all the other steroids that you have to be taking. That's one of the things I like about bodybuilding. There's no hidden message that you did it naturally. Everybody knows you got to take steroids. There's no way you're going to get to that body mass as you've been seeing. Because evidently the type of muscle that physically you're going to get at without steroids is almost what you saw with a lot of the old wrestlers, Mexican wrestlers, that size. You know, Nacho Libre, like that. You're going to get to that size. But more than that definition, you will not be able to do it without steroids. And that's where most of the cost is going to be spent, maintaining that amount of consistency. And remember that a bodybuilder, what he does is that he's activating the entire muscle. Is that essentially necessary for a typical activity of picking up a pencil, opening up the door? And the answer is no, it's just muscle tone. So that's the reason why you see most of the bodybuilders like Arnold and many others that they go back to a lesser mass than they had previously. But there are side effects with all bodybuilding. As you already know, you have a lot of heart problems. Heart attacks are very common. Arnold has already had, unofficially, like 4 heart attacks. And of course, they don't want to express that yet more. But anyways, so you're looking at least heart attacks, and that's because of the aggressive state that your body is subjected to. And also another problem is a lot of kidney failure. When is that going to happen? During the event. Because to really define the muscle like you see it in our models, or just basically you have more definition, your body has to be severely dehydrated. So when you stop intaking, again, water, the dehydration will then now stick the skin to the muscle more. You have more definition, but you're more dehydrated. And as a result, most after the event, most people after the event that are bodybuilders, they end up going to the hospital. They already have their IV going as soon as they're done because they're in the verge of kidney failure or acute kidney shutdown. So that's basically very common.
How long will they go without water? Days?
And you're looking at about 24 hours before. And it's just essential, not a lot. And it's very aggressive on the body. That's not something you want to do. But they start lowering their amount 24 hours prior, yes.
But they actually they abuse their body by taking even diuretics.
Yes, that's even more.
To
yes.
take their fluid off.
And remember, all the point is to make sure you have that fine definition. So the less water separation of the muscle, of the skin binding to the muscle, better definition. So you see, it's very, very harsh on the body. And you have had several deaths on the circuit also. One of the famous ones is in Sydney. You'll see it, where one of the persons did pass away. But the show must go on, it just continue. But again, that's the result of how severe stressful it is. So it's a lot of time consuming. Remember, it's a full-time job. There's no way you're going to get that body without being constantly working it out. And that's a difficult process. So it does take a different level of adaptation, a different level of changing your lifestyle. And at the end, there's only less than 1% chance that you're going to make it. That means that it's going to pay off. So you need to subsequently have something else, somebody working for you so you can sustain that cost. So it's very difficult to do it. So it's very poor in the result that you get from it. So the majority of bodybuilders will not have enough money to pay it off, so they're going to have to stop. So evidently, that's a big issue. But another important thing that I wanted to stress is this on rigor mortis, going back to your essay from chapter 10. Rigor mortis, remember, it's due to something happening after death. This is 3 to 4 hours. That's how you should begin your essay. If you want to write this down, you should. Rigor mortis is 3 to 4 hours after post-mortem. Okay, 3 to 4 hours post-mortem. this is when the SR is going to decompose. So that is the main thing that happens after you're dead. Again, rigor mortis is 3 to 4 hours after postmortem. The SR decomposes. That's the issue. That's going to lead to the contraction. So the SR decomposes is going to release what? Calcium, and that's going to cause the muscle to contract. You don't need to go ahead and explain how calcium binds to troponin, troponin moves tropomyosin, goes in the active site of actin, and the myosin head will bind to the active site, causing the sliding filamentary contraction to the M-gland, therefore eliminating the I-gland, the A-gland, and so forth, now showing the sarcomere. Right? The point is, contraction happens, right? So then why does the contraction persist? Why does it stay stuck in the contraction? So that should be your next sentence. Again, the SR decomposes, releases calcium, releasing the calcium, and that causes the muscle to contract. It stays contracted because, what do you need? ATP. There's no ATP, you're dead. You're not producing ATP, so it stays locked. See that? So that is rigor mortis. So depending how the body is left, in whatever position it's at, that's how you're going to see it. All right? So again, rigor mortis is 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours after postmortem. The muscle, the SR will decompose, releasing calcium, and the muscle is going to contract. And the reason why it stays contracted is because there is no ATP. You're not making it anymore. You're not generating ATP to unlock it, to make it relax. So it stays there in that form. It will move evidently, but after the muscle, the skeletal muscle, decomposes. And that takes days. 3 to 4 days, then the muscle will decompose. And then you can move the body. That is difference. For the rigor mortis, this is hours, 3 to 4 hours. That's what's going to happen. So that's why at the morgue you will see sounds, you will see limb movements. You know, they don't go to the extent of raising the body, but you know, I don't think it, unless you zap it or something. But it's very, but the twitching, the movement, yes. Even the air expiring out, like that, you might think they're breathing, but they're not. It's the decomposition now, again, now affecting the pleural cavities, and that causes to not gonna have a pneumothorax, so they're losing their lung elasticity against the thorax. So that's again, that's the it sounds like it. So you do see passing gas also, burping, and those are common actions. And of course, that's a common event. But now that you know that it's not because it's being incarnated again, it's becoming a zombie, no, nothing like that. It's basically the decomposition that you see there. So that's an important thing. Besides that, look at the next thing we have here. Okay, this is under additional information. I'm not going to test you on it. But you have two different types of people that are now exploiting basically their muscle composition. So you have a bodybuilder on one side, you know, picking up mass, big mass of big weights. And the other one is tone, lean muscle, muscle tone. And we know that the athlete needs that type of muscle to maintain that particular, sport. So a bodybuilder, you're never going to see them doing a marathon. The marathon is going to last for hours. It could go from 6 to 8 hours. But this muscle mass, the muscle tone, allows this person to maintain that exerted action on the body. But over here, these are short, quick bursts of energy. And you need that for weightlifting. See that? So what is it that they have? Well, the difference is on the type of muscle they have. So we have basically 3 specific types of muscles. This is illustrated back in chapter 9. Again, I'm not going to test you on it. Just covering here because you're going to see that with our own muscles. Okay? Some of them are fast twitch muscles. So we're going to find that in the body that you've been studying with these skeletal muscle. You're going to have it on the hands. Those are very specific areas that you have that type of muscle. So the fast twitch fibers are giving you quick bursts of energy. High intensity, very quick, but guess what? They're going to fatigue right away. They're not going to last. The slow twitch, these are the ones you can rely on for a longer extension of time. So now we see, if we go back, which one is this person, again, taking advantage of? The fast twitch. This one? The slow twitch. And where do they have them? Well, they have them in those areas of the body that they're exerting, especially the legs for the marathon runner. Again, you have the slow twitch fibers. But both of them could have a combination of both. You see that? But some of us have it more pronounced, some of these slow twitch fibers to a higher extent in our legs. Therefore, that's the reason why you like jogging. That's why you like running. That's why you like to go on a hike that takes, 2 to 3 hours. Versus the couch potato. Maybe they don't have it. Maybe that's why the reason why you're tired. You should already know what you have. All right? You should already know, because you have been already exposed to activating those type of fibers. The intermediate, of course, is the good of both worlds. You see, it has the ability to give you that quick response, but they don't get tired as fast. Another interesting thing, of course, is what you could do with these slow twitch fibers. Again, so the endurance, again, slow twitch fibers gives you endurance. The fast twitch fibers are going to give you that power, that intensity right away. So with the slow twitch, that's the, again, swimming, biking, jogging. If you like to do that, that means that that's what predominates in your body, in your legs especially, and in your back. Of course, everybody has it in the back. That's the reason why you could sit up for a pretty long time. See that? Again, because you have those slow twitch fibers. But the fast twitch fibers, this is the reason why you like to do weights with short distance running. No more than 200 meters, maybe 500 meters is the max. And we've seen some of our runners that are Olympic runners, again, how they're able to do that activity very good because they have high intensity, high concentration of these fast twitch fibers. Tennis players moving quickly to snap and hit the ball, again, that is something that you need. That is, again, with a fast twitch fiber. So depending, what is it that you enjoy, that's the reason why you're able to do very well, because you have a combination of these fibers, okay? And of course, some people have actually taken other ingredients to enhance these fibers. And a good example of this is the anabolic steroids. These were very popular, still very popular. But one of the problems that we saw here with the Olympics from 1988 was with Ben Johnson, again, an athlete, great runner, but he was found to be, again, with this anabolic steroids in his system. So what this does, the anabolic steroids, is that it allows an upper hand for the muscle not to tire it out, not to build up lactic acid. So that's the edge right there. But do not believe just because you take steroids, you're going to be a good basketball player, a good baseball player, hitting the home runs. That is a misconception. It's an illusion. The reason why these people are good is because they're already professional. Remember, that's what they do. They're very good. And now you give them something better that's going to help them, increase that output. That's going to make them great. So not just because you take steroids, that's not going to make you better. So it's like saying, I'm going to be a best car racer. If I buy the best super sport car, I'm going to use it to its max. For a typical person using a sports car, are they going to be able to use it to the max? And the answer is no. Because you don't have the experience. You don't have the training. You need to train yourself, and then that way you can use it to the max. So that's the same thing with our body. And these steroids do provide that aspect, but they also have the side effect. Side effects is, again, you might lose your masculinity. Again, some of these response against the testicles. So that's the same thing what you see. That's why Arnold is admired so much, because he did steroids, still had kids, married into the Kennedys. Anyways, you see that? Number one in all that. So there's very few of these bodybuilders that can have kids. The reason why, remember, he was basically laughed at, Arnold. That's why he's a classical example to always refer to, because he started doing weights after what?
Puberty.
After puberty. And all these other guys that are professional bodybuilders, their whole family has gone through that. Remember, their size is 4'3", 4'5", less than 5 feet. They're short. What happened? They started to use steroids before puberty. So that's where you get the myth that doing weights causes what? To stunt your growth. Have you heard that?
No, that's not true.
Yeah, it's not true. And I heard that in my neighborhood when everybody started to do weights, because it was a big thing. You know why? Right? Because the movies came on. You know, that's how they basically are training us. They show you, okay, now we need pilots. Let's do this film over here. That famous film of Tom Cruise. Just forgot it. They needed more pilots, so they showed it. I forgot the name. Top Gun. There you go. Top Gun. Remember that one? They need more Navy SEALs. Put Rambo in there. Everybody wants to do that. Anyways, that's how they train you. Believe me, that's how we train the people, because that's where you lose a lot of money trying to educate the people. Anyways, so the point here is that the ability to enhance your performance can only be there if you're already good. If you ain't no good, these steroids are not going to do it. And we see the same effect on females. Females lose their voice, change their appearance. Yes, that's why that pregnant man was actually a woman, still had her uterus, still had her ovaries. It was a woman, but she was getting hormone therapy. Must have been a good doctor because she, looked like a man, but it was a woman. And she went through that, critical stage of life, that, what do you call it, midlife crisis. She just wanted to be a mom. Anyways, so the point here, and that's something that's going to hit all women. Same thing with men. You got a midlife crisis, and it depends how mentally prepared you are for it. Because it really destroys families, all right? That's where you have a lot of divorce.
Did it happen to you?
Yeah, it has a lot of divorce. Do you know that the highest divorce rate is not in the young, the new married couples? The highest divorce rate since 2010, guess what age group is that?
45.
The ones that have been married for 20 plus years, that's right. The 56, the 60s, that's where you see the spikes in divorce now. Ain't that weird? And then add Viagra there.
Oh my God.
Even explode. Viagra changed everything, guys. It changed a lot, but it has killed a lot of people. All right? So with the females, they do become aggressive. Remember that we call that word rage. It really affects their brain. Yes. Haven't you seen them? Just look at them. Bodybuilders. The females, they also get very aggressive. And rage has been seen with bodybuilders and even wrestlers. Because, wrestling, when they're doing steroids, right? You see it in the back, the bumps and all that. Those are signs of that. But anyways, you saw back in 2009 that this famous wrestler from Juarez that made it into the big time ended up killing the whole family and then himself. Rage. And he was not the only one. Many other ones that have done that. So rage is what you see also, road rage. Guess why? Some people, why are they getting to that extent? Not controlling their emotions. So again, it's very, sad to see that you do have very severe effects. Their brain is being affected from these amounts of hormones. So with the males, you do get breast size increase, start to get that, and lose testicular size as well. So that's what happens. And sterility is very high. When you're looking at athletes, their sterility is very high. Very few females that have gone through gymnastics, they end up getting pregnant. Have you heard that? No, huh? It's true. Sad.
They cannot get pregnant?
They cannot get pregnant. Why not? Because during the Olympics or their training, are they getting their menstrual cycle?
No.
Are all athlete women getting their menstrual? The answer is no. Why not? Because they're losing fat. Having zero fat is not what you want. So that's going to mess up their diet. They're going to mess up what they're eating, their habits. You have all these crazy stuff. Because you need fat to produce a lot of hormones. So that's a great effect on the female. Then the female after the Olympics, that's the issue. Will you be able to go back to your cycle and have a family? So it is very, again, difficult when it comes to an athlete. All the effort that you do, and of course you have very low rates of winning anything, because now it's very competitive. As you've seen, everything has gone up. The speeds, the records, it's very, again, very tough place. So it's a very hazardous environment, but that's the reason why steroids is greatly influenced. And that's where you saw the epidemic of the Russian Olympic team being canceled out. I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary, but it's interesting to note how they did it. It's very simple. Okay? So they started to do they started to do the steroids. That's the sample that you send before the Olympics. And then you begin the training, so they have a threshold what you normally have, because they got to know your normal standard, but they started to send the sample already with drugs. So that's basically how they beat the systems. That was a heads up. So again, they took those samples, and of course they also had contracts with several labs that were not really detecting some of these chemicals. And that's basically what you saw with Armstrong as well. So with Armstrong, as you know, he was a very good athlete, but the steroids made him better, gave him that ability to not get tired as easily. He did very well. That's why people started to question that. And what about with Mike Tyson? Again, he was able to take advantage of his, muscle content, muscle fiber. So remember, his muscle he was able to withstand 13 rounds, 14 rounds, yeah. But very fast, they actually learned a technique. It was the shock and awe technique. Remember, go to the opponent aggressively within what? First 3 rounds. Especially the first round. That's what he became famous for, knocking people off, 30 seconds. Remember that one? Very unique. But the point is that people started to catch on that all this energy, he was going to use it up within the first 3 rounds. So what was the technique that you needed to do?
Wear them out.
Yeah.
Right off the ear. I'm just kidding.
Just stay away from him. Stay away from him. And then, of course, that's the reason why they caught on that you could even knock him out. See that? You could knock him out. And, of course, that's the idea of the slow twitch fibers. He was basically taking advantage of that. Okay. So we do have points here that we're going to see with our video. So let's look at the video now when it comes to the muscle. Okay. And I'm going to be stopping the video several points along the way.